I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you.
Hello, my name is Devin Jernigan, and my topic today is on violent protesting, and how violence mixed with protesting altogether is just not good. All due to the fact that violence itself is counterproductive, and harming individuals or their property based on a moral disagreement is just wrong. Now, violent protesting being labeled as counterproductive may be something that sounds kind of weird. I mean, the regular normal person's thought process on the whole matter would obviously be, quote, well, if you engage in an all-out brawl with the people you disagree with in the middle of the street, then they're obviously going to change their opinion and agree with you. It's only logical. Well, sorry, normal person, but turns out the exact opposite is true. As you can see by this screenshot of this Vox article, Vox being a historically left-leaning news source, mind you, and this piece being no exception at all, it is clearly stated, pretty much blatantly word for word actually, that's a pretty convenient feature there, but that violent protesting is counterproductive. Now, inside of this article, they reference the Princeton professor Omar Wasow and his examination of county-level voting patterns in the late 1900s. Now for some pretty darning evidence. I quote, "Exposure to nonviolent protests pushed people to vote for the more liberal presidential candidate, while exposure to violent ones pushed people to vote for the more conservative candidate." End quote. Now I must clarify a little bit. In this situation, the violent protests being referenced were those of liberal support. This article does not prove that Republicans can have all the fun and violence they want and get even more little tiny Trumps out of it. Cute tiny kids dressed up as the Not My President of millennials everywhere aside. Just in case you hadn't picked it up yet, this article was made in June, pause for dramatic effect, of 2016, around 5 months away from the first presidential votes. Trump was behind Hillary and was losing by 4 to 5 percentage points across the board. I'm not saying that an increase in violent protesting and the use of violence altogether was the cause for the Trump presidency. I'm just pointing out that, logosally, there's an obvious connection to be made. Look up here. Isn't that right, Taco? Oh my goodness. Oh, he's scared of cameras. Now, the most perfect and adorable dog on the entire planet aside, I get to talk about the fact that it is just morally wrong to inflict pain or damage upon someone for just disagreeing with you. Now, to take a quick look at the First Amendment, we can see that it protects, quote, the right of the people peaceably to assemble, end quote. As it is said in Spider-Man Homecoming,
protesting is patriotic. Let's get on the bus.
Yet violent protesting is not protected within those rights, so violent protesting is against the law. But if people would stop doing something just because it was against the law, women would finally stop wearing pants in Tucson. Heck, to harken back to my last point, if people just stopped doing something just because it wasn't working, men would stop wearing the man sprout. No. All in all, the reason that it's morally wrong is not because it's against the law, because violent protesting is a lot like the man sprout. It's considered morally wrong for the physical pain it brings on all of its targets. Show this and try to prove it to you guys in a pretty relatable and simple way. I'm going to show you guys the following videos and see if you kind of get the feel of an eye for an eye sort of karma sense of what violent protesting is sort of like morally.
Oi, people! I'm taking the camera. Right. Try it. Oi, come on. Take it.
Now that we're all wrapped up with a pathosiological appeal, I believe that it's time to end it with someone who has a lot more ethos than I really ever could hope to own.
You truly believe, then, that nonviolence is the sole, the universal answer to injustice and oppression?
Very definitely.
Lasting.
Very definitely.